say good morning to the mayor of Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser joins us.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mayor.
Great to be with you.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
You are joining us this morning because the Office of the Deputy Mayor for Planning and Economic Development, that's DMPED, released a study outlining the actual and potential fiscal, economic, and community impacts of professional sports in the district. And I would like to stress
that's a mouthful, Cakes.
It's being released exclusively here with the Junkies. That was your office's selection to release it on this show. We're going to toot our own horn here.
Oh yeah, why is that, Mayor?
Well, you concentrate on DC sports. You have a point of view that we know is interesting to fans of our sports teams. And you always work with our office to get that news out. So I'm happy to bring the DMPED sports team study to you. We were, I think last July, we went out to Nats Park where I announced that we would create the DMPED sports team. And one of their big tasks was to look at all of the needs for our sports teams across the district now and in the future. And that's what we're delivering today.
I'm sorry, I should know. Is the idea behind this is a way to kind of get the public and get everyone behind this, to bring the Commanders to D.C.? Is that the ultimate idea behind this report?
Well, a couple of things. First, we've been talking for the better part of the year, largely surrounding our experience with Monumental Sports and the Washington Wizards and Capitals and Mystics, and talking about investments in it. And constantly I'm asked, why should, governments be involved with sports teams? They're owned by, really wealthy people. And shouldn't they just shoulder having sports teams in urban areas on their own? And so I wanted it to be in one place. What has been our experience with having professional hockey and basketball in the downtown? What has been our experience with having Major League Baseball at the Capitol Riverfront? Our latest experience with Audi Field, revitalizing Buzzards Point. And even Congress Heights, where we built the entertainment and sports arena. So we have all in one place what has been the district's commitment. Even the federal government has had some ancillary investments in these areas that have made them great sports districts. And then ultimately, we do have the team covered a section of what a successful NFL stadium would look like in the district.
Mayor Bowser, I know one of the key findings from the study was that you're looking for anchor sports facilities as opposed to island sports facilities. Can you tell our listeners what the difference is and how that makes an impact in communities in D.C.?
It's a huge difference. I think what the study points to is when you have sports facilities that are surrounded by other development that attracts people, that attracts office workers, that attracts restaurant goers, you have a successful development. And I think that's what we found at Capitol Riverfront. That's what we find with our downtown development around the sports arena for the Capitals and Wizards. And that's what the only way that an NFL franchise could also work in D.C. And that's why we spent so much time talking about the revitalization of RFK, not just for football, but using the balance of the 170 acres to produce housing and to produce park space and to produce other destinations that attract people to a new sports and entertainment district.
So not only does D.C. Want the Commanders to end up in D.C., you've got Governor Wes Moore battling for it in Maryland. And can you fill us in? It seemed like last week or 2 weeks ago, we started hearing about Chris Van Hollen being a thorn in the side. Can you fill us in? Because sometimes for fans, it's overwhelming to hear about all these kind of government machinations.
Yeah, I think for the Fans have spoken up pretty loud and clear. I think you probably saw a recent poll that has shown how popular opinion has really shifted. And all of the things that concern fans, whether, you know all of the things that we've been working on with the Washington football team, and they have been addressed. And so I think fans are saying, like they have said with the other sports, no matter where they live in the region, they like coming to D.C. For this sports and entertainment activity. And like with the Caps and the Wizards, we believe we have the best site. And we also believe that there could be a vision for other sites around the region that, are either sports complexes or wannabe sports complexes, that there might be better uses for those sites as well. And so that's what we would be supportive of.
So I should know more of this. I apologize, Mayor. Is your idea that the only feasible site in D.C. is the old RFK, or do you have others? You're kind of alluding to it, but do you have others that would work within D.C.?
No, we think RFK is the site, and you've heard that you've even heard RFK the spiritual home of the Washington football team. We know we have the highway access, we have the metro access, we have the pedestrian access. And quite frankly, we just have the experience. You have a stadium that could sit on the axis of the Capitol and the other national monuments that, those views and that experience just can't be replaced.
But Mayor, respectfully, don't people just say, though, that the site's just too small for today's sort of modern state and what you're looking for in terms of like an anchor and all of the sort of businesses that it brings, the restaurants and hotels and condos and all that, right?
Yeah, is there enough room?
Is there enough room for that?
Are you kidding? It's 170 acres. That
and the parking and everything.
Yeah, but nobody builds big asphalt fields of parking anymore. And that's not something that we would support. A development there would be truly iconic and special and would accommodate parking and would accommodate not just the stadium. We wouldn't want a development that was a stadium because that wouldn't be an improvement over where the team is now. So we want something that's going to deliver a truly iconic experience. And great architects have already put their minds to this. And that's the type of development that we would support in the district, one that delivers world-class sports. And we're not just talking about the NFL. We're not just talking about a potential Super Bowl, but we haven't been able to get the World Cup in the region because we don't have a sufficient stadium. We weren't able to get Taylor Swift to come to the region.
That's an outrage, Mayor Bowser. No Taylor Swift. Outrage.
But that is, I don't want to make light of it. World-class cities are able to attract world-class events.
What's the capacity?
I think that would be under consideration. I don't think actually that NFL teams are looking to build 100,000 seat stadiums now. Actually, what they are focused on is an intimate experience, getting their fans closer to the field, being able to replicate what people are building in their basements and living rooms, comfort, convenience, and a great view of sports. So we're looking for that, but we also want people to be able to experience the Anacostia River and our Anacostia Trail. And we want kids to be able to play at what we're going to fund, an indoor sports complex that will have all the indoor sports for D.C. Public schools and our public charter schools. We want our soccer fields to be there. So we want a mix of great things that can happen with sports.
Mayor Bowser, any discussion yet? I know it's preliminary and early about whether the stadium would be open air, domed, retractable roof. Has that been discussed or broached yet?
No, let me be clear. Our focus as a government is with this study is to outline what sports have meant, professional sports have meant to DC, to our economy, how we create jobs, and how they have spurred other development around them when they are, thoughtful economic centers. And that's what a new sports investment would include. But we're also just very focused on getting control of that land from the federal government so that we can make local investments in it like we have done with other federal underutilized parcels. What's a shame is right now we have a falling down stadium surrounded by asphalt in a city that really needs housing and economic development. So we're going to work with our federal partners to get control. We're going to continue talking to the team about what their plans are. And just like we've done with other sports teams and facilities, we're going to put the best offer for the district forward, and we're going to go from there.
Mayor Bowser, how much easier has it been to deal with the new ownership group, the Harris ownership group, as opposed to the Snyder group that owned the team for 24 years before? What's that like been dealing with Josh Harris and company as far as trying to get the stadium there in D.C.?
Well, I think we have welcomed Josh Harris with open arms. One thing I'll say about him, and I think what we've seen with recent moves, is they have a winning spirit. They want to win. And all of these discussions are better when you have a winning team. And he seems to bring a lot of competence to the table when dealing with building winning teams. Josh is a local guy. He has, firsthand experience at RFK, and he knows that the type of investment that his group is going to need to put forward to build a new stadium, he's going to be making a once in a lifetime decision. So we want it to be the right one for the teams, for the district, and quite frankly, for the whole region.
Talking to Mayor Muriel Bowser. A couple of things I've noticed during the interview, maybe you can mention, just kind of words that I heard you say, and you can explain to me. First of all, you keep calling them the Washington football team. Are you not a fan of the Commander's name?
I am a fan of the Commander's name. The Commander's name is just fine with me.
Okay. And then you used the word federal a couple of times, and I don't fully understand it. Does the district control the land of RFK, or is that the federal government still?
The district controls it because we have a lease. But the lease, in order to really make the necessary investments that it will take for the district or even the team, we need to extend that lease. And we need to extend it at least 99 years. And we need to remove a covenant that's on it that says it can only be a sports use. Because like I said, only building a stadium there is not something the district is interested in, but building a stadium surrounded by housing and parks and other family-centered uses is what the district needs for our economy to build jobs and housing.
So how does the covenant get removed?
Well, that's what we're talking to the feds about now, how we extend the lease and remove the covenant. And that has already passed in the House of Representatives. And I have to give a big shout out to Representative Comer and Representative Eleanor Holmes Norton, who carried that through a bipartisan vote in the House of Representatives. And now we're in the Senate. So there's discussion among senators, some from Maryland, some from out west, about what they need to be supportive. And we continue to work with the White House and the Senate on making sure that happens.
Mayor Bowser, I saw one of the findings that said that the sports teams in D.C. attracted 7.4 million visitors in 2023. But this number jumped out at me, 88% of those being non-district residents. I'm guessing you'd like to see more district residents attending sporting events in the district going forward.
We would. We, of course, want to make sure that D.C. residents have full access. And part of our discussions with teams is working with young people to have them interested in baseball, to get them interested in professional basketball right here in the district. And one of our growth areas we know will be soccer, especially with kids. And you notice that the writers call this one of our biggest exports, professional sports, because it's something that people from outside buy and consume in Washington, D.C., and that's not a bad thing when you're building a diverse economy.
Well, Muriel Bowser, we want to thank you again for taking the time to exclusively release the findings
Thanks, Sports Junkies.
of the study. And anybody that wants to see all of the information, they can go to the DMPED website and get those details.
By the way, did you play any sports at Seton High School?
I didn't play any sports at Seton. I have to admit to being a government social studies nerd. But,
Gotcha.
I'm trying to make sure my daughter gets exposed to all the sports. Maybe she'll be a elite sports athlete.
That'd be nice. All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Mayor.
you.
We appreciate
All right.
it.
Thanks, Mayor Bowser.
Bye-bye.
All right.